Well, that took a bit too long. Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at horrible features that were patched out or fixed. These features have to be intentional on the parts of the game developers, but were widely disliked by players. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. No NPCs, Fallout 76.
I figured like most it was time. This was the end, but it wasn't, was it? We're still here.
There were many things people were unsure about when Fallout 76 was announced at E3 2018, and the lack of human NPCs was one of them. The game had one of the most disastrous launches in history, and while there were many problems with it, the emptiness of Appalachia, 4 times larger than the Commonwealth, was one of the biggest. At E3 2019, Bethesda announced the Wastelanders update with the promise to rectify this, adding fully voiced human NPCs complete with dialogue trees and a quest line.
I don't think any of us expected for people to actually come back.
Are you from that vault?
But seriously, who thought not having other characters for their character-driven RPG franchise was a good idea? The change can redeem the game somewhat, since its reliance on text and audio logs to tell its story was one of its biggest issues. The endings, Mass Effect 3.
No! I'm in control! No one is telling me what to do!
After following Commander Shepard's journey for 5 years of acclaimed games, fans were outraged at the 3 endings initially offered at the trilogy's conclusion, or 2 if you didn't do enough of the optional side content. All with their own uncomfortable twists, like the destruction of the mass relays and siding with the Reapers, as well as Shepard's heroic sacrifice, none of the endings satisfied players. Four months after the release, the free Extended Cut DLC was released to try to make it up to players. The biggest addition was the refusal ending, for all those fans who didn't like any of the 3 options presented. They can refuse outright, deciding to fight the Reapers to their deaths. BioWare also fixed that plot hole about the Normandy's unseen retreat. The Purifier, Fallout 3.
If I'm reading this right, I'm afraid there are lethal levels of radiation inside the chamber.
The main quest of Fallout 3 was never the game's strongest point. The side content and world building were much more interesting than most of the furrow surrounding who controls the Purifier. This extended right up until the game's conclusion in its original form, where the player must sacrifice themselves to turn on the Purifier in the radioactive chamber. But many players were quick to point out that if you're doing the good karma route, you've probably got Fox as your companion. He's immune to radiation after all.
No, I'm sorry, my companion, but no.
But Fox refused to go and turn on the Purifier for you, despite the fact that he'd be fine. Bethesda fixed this when they released the Broken Steel DLC, giving players this ability with a hefty serving of guilt and extending the story. Microtransactions, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Few things have been as much of a blight on gaming as microtransactions. But pushing for loot boxes and cosmetic items isn't the same thing as the pay-to-win mechanics that almost destroyed Battlefront 2 in November 2017, where players were able to buy better upgrades, abilities, characters, etc. with real-world money. These were removed almost immediately. In March of 2018, EA claimed to have saw the error of their ways and announced that they would be completely abandoning microtransactions save for cosmetic items. While most people would prefer to have no microtransactions at all, at least they know they're not going to be mercilessly destroyed by someone who paid to have all the best stuff. Infinity Blade, Fortnite. During December 2018's Winter Royale tournament, Epic Games introduced a mythic item that proved to be more than anyone bargained for. The Infinity Blade was widely overpowered, giving players speed and health boosts, as well as jumping boosts, and it did a ton of damage, and players could also farm resources while using it. it meant matches were completely unbalanced, and Epic was eventually forced to remove it from the game, issuing an apology to their players. The blade did eventually return with an array of nerfs, such as preventing people from gathering resources while using it, but the blade had already managed to do a lot of damage.
That's gonna be number 9, number 10 for knees with the Infinity Blade!
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.